Well, now you know then what the Pharaoh story is about. Jesus. Pharaoh is the archetypal Jesus. The pure type of Jesus. What we put down as first dynasty, conception, historicity. Of course, Christian religion has elevated him to being God, same as the Egyptians did with Pharaoh. Well, we can't see God, but we can see Pharaoh. We can see Jesus, so we're going to worship him. Yes, well, children will be children. I mean, God understands that. And it says in the scripture of the Hindu, as we've named them, the Gita, for instance, whatever man worships, I respect that. It's his conception of me. It's childlike, of course. But I love you. I love my kids. Can't you feel the tears in my eyes? I love my children. You. I love you. Get that into your very being, and you will do extremely well. You are my child, and that is absolutely everything. Well, may you be overconfident, like that. Overconfident and full of yourself, and make all sorts of hedonistic type decisions, and I will rein you back in with my crook. And the threat of the flail is there, not just for threshing the corn, but for dividing the sheep from the goats. And you will tremble in the awesomeness of my presence, and for a moment you'll forget that I'm your dad and love you to the core, but only for a moment in what you call this transitory human life in the material world. But just enough of a scare to bring you back on track for eternal happiness and loveliness and life. Not as you childishly conceive of it, but as I, God, know it to be. And that's what you are in eternity. My dearest friends, forever. I love you, Dad. Thank you, Dad. Ah, now you weep, and I perceive you feel the dint of holiness. Dear ones, these are gracious drops. Look you now, behold, your God's vesture wounded. But that is enough. And now you know the meaning of the crucifixion. Cost. Suffering, not your suffering. My cost. My suffering. A moment of dropping my veil of holiness. That you may be holy. Quite simply, I suffer for you. And what you thought of as the suffering of the crucifixion is tiny compared to the cost to my being, utterly worthwhile to me, because I love you eternally. And this is what binds you with me in harmony, despite our amazing, unique individualities, for eternity. What you have called quite simply the love of God ever holds us all in our embrace. Love you. And I, your parent, what you have always referred to as Dad, Heavenly Dad, thank you, just as you thank me. You had a glimpse of it at school when you saw friendship. You had an embrace of such at home with Mum, and you thought of such with Dad.